Guys, today's video is going to be taking you into what it looks like to do a typical lesson using the Good and the Beautiful Level 6 program. But I wanted to show you guys the writing in the Good and the Beautiful because I did have a couple of questions. A lot of people said that they felt like, they just threw the writing at the child and it wasn't really explained in detail. So I wanted to show you one of the lessons where it explains the writing to the child and show you what Andre has already done. To me, it wasn't just like, just rushed through. I felt like it was really slowed down so the child could focus on one thing at a time, which is really helpful for me because, I'm not really a good writer and, Andre requires things at a little bit more slow pace. So I just felt like this was really well done. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys how the lesson, works out when the Good and the Beautiful starts incorporating writing into their language arts program. So in lesson 22, he had to do the spelling, and then he has his first writing assignment, which is writing a magazine travel article. And then they have it broken out in parts. So this is part 1. So you can see it here. It says, with permission of your parent or teacher, use the internet to research 2 places online. Take at least 1 page of notes for each. Make sure your notes do not use exact wording of information you read. In the next lesson, you will use your notes to begin your writing. So he had to choose between these different areas. He had the fairy pools, the Nest Point Lighthouse, the Melt Falls, and the Old Man's Store. So he had to pick 2 out of these 4 and perform research on them. So he chose the fairy pools and the Nest Point Lighthouse. So that was all a part of part 1. So that's all he did for the beginning of his writing. Then for part 2, it's in lesson 23. It says, writing a magazine travel article part 2. Write an opening paragraph for your magazine travel article. Start with an attention-grabbing opening, such as a question, an interesting statement, a vivid description. Make sure your opening paragraph explains that you will be discussing 2 different amazing places to visit on the Isle of Skye in Scotland. So this is all he's doing for part 2. So the first one was just research. The second one is just working on your opening paragraph. That's it. And then the next day, which is lesson 23, down here, he's doing part 3 of the article. Now he's going to write the section your article describes and try to convince people to visit the first place you chose. And it can be a paragraph or multiple paragraphs. So the first part 1 was just a research. Part 2 is just the opening paragraph. Part 3 is try to convince people. It can be 1 paragraph or 2. And then we're over here to part 4. It says, write a section of your article that describes and tries to convince people to visit the second place. So you see how they break it up? I don't understand, why people think it's like rushed. It's not to me. It breaks it up in like 4, actually over 5 steps so that the child doesn't have to do the whole paper at one time. They can just focus on certain sections of the writing. And for my son, it makes it a lot easier for him to grasp. So here he's working on trying to convince the people to visit the second part. And then finally, it says, write your conclusion of your article. It should wrap up your essay. It can be very short, even just 2 or 3 lines. So I hope this is helpful for the people who asked me on Instagram to kind of show the writing for the Good and the Beautiful. And now we're just going to roll into his lesson for today. Today's lesson looks pretty easy. Andre just has to do, we're on lesson 39. He just has to do spelling, which we'll do in a second. Then he's going to read this portion to me about eucalyptus trees. And then he has to view the trees on this page here, it looks like. Oh, and then he has a little art project he's going to do because he's going to love that. He's going to sketch out eucalyptus trees and color them. So, and he has to put leaves on it. That's cool. He has to follow the steps that are laid out here. Let me see if there's anything else on this lesson. And then that's it. All right, so we're just going to do this lesson now. I'm going to walk you guys through it, and then you'll see what a typical, what it is to do a typical lesson using the Good and the Beautiful curriculum. So we're going to do your spelling first, okay? Mm-hmm. You ready? Mm-hmm. All right. Bicycle.
VICYLCE.
Billion.
Billion. Billion.
Good job. Bruise.
Bruise.
Burglar.
Burglar.
Yeah, burglar.
Okay.
Glar.
Okay. B-A-R.
Berg, like burger.
Okay. B-U-R-G-U-L-A-R.
It's no U. It's just glar. It's like burglar. So B-U-R-G-L-A-R. California.
C-A-L-I-F-O-R-N-I-A.
Good job. Carriage.
C-A-R. C-A-R-A-G.
Try it again. C-A.
Is it two R's in
Yes.
two? Okay.
Two R's.
C-A-R-R-A-G-E.
C-A-R-R-I-A-G-E. Casual.
Casual. C-A-S-U-A-L.
Okay. Cemetery.
C-E-M-I-E. Wait, C-E-M-E-T-E-R-Y.
Good job. Good job. Okay, so we just finished the spelling, which you guys saw. And here it's just reviewing for him where to put a comma. And it says you separate quoted material with a comma. And then it's just giving him examples here. So we just went over that. And now he's going to read to me this little story about eucalyptus trees.
Trees are native to Australia, New Guinea, and parts of Indonesia,
New Guinea, and parts of Indonesia.
Point to these countries on the map. Fast-growing species have been introduced to India, Africa, Europe, and Americas for commercial productions of timber and oil. There are over 700 species of eucalyptus. Almost all are in Australia. Eucalyptus trees are nicknamed gum trees. The nickname describes the scented sap that oozes down the trunk of some species and hardens into gummy clumps. Eucalyptus leaves contain a fragrant oil which can be used for various medicinal purposes. Eucalyptus can be used as an air disinfectant, insect repellent, and a
decongestant.
It is used to treat burns and help with muscle aches, skin ulcers, wounds, asthma,
bronchitis, which your mom gets all the time,
the flu, and headaches. The only food koalas eat is eucalyptus leaves. They would starve without them. Eucalyptus trees grow quickly. Many of its species grow to a height of 480 feet, which is taller than the California giant sequoia. Almost all the eucalyptus species are evergreen. Most species of eucalyptus shed their bark once per year. Rainbow eucalyptus trees shed their bark several times a year, revealing bark that changes to different shades of green, red, blue, and purple. Young eucalyptus trees have round leaves. After 1 to 3 years, the leaves of most species become longer and spear-headed. A few species kept the round leaf shape all of their lives. Most eucalyptus trees can survive more than 250 years.
Good. So now it says observe the pictures
of eucalyptus trees on the next
page. And where are eucalyptus trees in Australia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so let's look at the trees on the next page. What's that?
That's a quad. Oh, these are eucalyptus trees. Remember when we watched Madagascar show all the eucalyptus trees?
Oh yeah, you think those are rare?
Yeah.
Or are they a different type of tree?
No, those are eucalyptus trees. Oh yeah, and we also see these at DC
cool.
Zoo. You know how they shed their bark?
Yeah.
Look, see? That's like where it starts shedding. See all those
see.
little spots.
I didn't know these were eucalyptus trees. They look pretty.
Remember when we see the eucalyptus trees at parks in DC Zoo? I didn't
Good
know
job.
those eucalyptus trees.
Me neither. I was trying to page. What do you do now?
Now I gotta draw eucalyptus tree.
Eucalyptus trees. So now you're going to gather these materials and sketch out a eucalyptus tree. So get your art paper and go ahead and do that, okay?
Alright.
Right now, Andre is working on his art project, and art is his favorite subject. He loves doing art. He loves being creative, and this is actually my favorite thing to watch him do. I love seeing Andre look at something and then interpret it in his own way. Artistically, it's just, I don't know, it's like watching a genius work. I just love watching him do his art. So pretty much after he does his art lesson, we're done for the day. Our new homeschool schedule is every Monday and Wednesday we do math first, and then we do language arts, and then every Tuesday and Thursday we do our unit study, and then we go into our fun schooling stuff. And if you want to see a video on what our fun Fridays look like, where we do our science activities, I'll leave it here in the cards. And then if you want to see a sample of what our Bible unit study is, I will leave it here for you guys. And I'll also leave it linked in the description box below. So this is the original, and this is what Andre created for his eucalyptus trees. And then since art was the last thing we're doing, after he gets done, the kids usually go outside and play. So that's what they're doing here. I hope this video was helpful, you guys, and I will see you again for the next one.
Make sure you like and subscribe. Bye.